All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Listen, I'm gonna give it a couple minutes to get some people in the room. Sometimes there is a slight delay. I'm going to tag a couple people. When you come in, say hello. Welcome to the conversation. This is gonna be so good this morning. Sometimes I get these super spontaneous moments. But if you're able, listen, I'm going to leave this live up. So if you need to come back and take notes, you can come back and take notes. Um, and if you're in a position to take notes, I'm going to tell you to get your notepad out and let's take some notes because I'm going to help y'all today. Y'all know I love to drop knowledge. I love to help. So when you come on, say hello, say where you're watching from. You can also drop in the chat something that you need help with. I'm gonna do a little bit of live coaching, really one on one, but some live coaching this morning. But I'm gonna tag some people in the group, send this link to some folk, tell them to come in the room. I'm gonna tag some people really quickly. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Y'all come in the room. This is about to be so good. Y'all know when I get in moments like this, I'll be like, listen, you better grab all the nuggets you can grab because it's really about to help somebody. So I'm tagging some people in the room. I promise y'all I'm about to get started because I don't want to hold you guys too long. I'm so glad. Y'all need to turn your notifications on so when I go live, you can catch it every time. All right. So it's a couple people. I just tagged a bunch of folk in the room. Let me message some people and tell them to come on here. Let's see. Because this is about to be so good. All right, all right. I'm coming. Let's see. All right, so I tagged some people in the room. I'm gonna go ahead and get started really quickly. So, y'all know when I get like these real random moments, but it's about to be real good. That's why I call them go moments because I like to go live whenever I feel like the spirit wants me to go live, not necessarily like just to go live just to be talking. I don't mind going live just to be talking, but I want to be talking about something. I want to make sure that I'm talking about the right thing that what people need in the moment. So the today's topic is this, right? And this is going to be in general in life, okay? The game changer is ownership. Okay, y'all stay with me. The game changer is ownership. And a lot of times when I begin my coaching, I always start with mindset. And people ask me all the time, like, why do you start with mindset? Or like, why do you start with, a lot of the mindset coaching? Because what I believe is this: we don't lack information, we don't lack skill, we don't lack talent, right? But there are a lot of internal things that affect us from being able to move forward. And so the game changer, and this is not just in business, because honestly, I feel like if I life coached half of you guys, that major Jaden, please pick that up. I feel like that if I life coach majority of the people, that when it comes down to business, ministry, your home life, whatever it is you're trying to produce, whatever it is you're trying to do, I promise you that majority of you will be able to execute. Because the problem is never that we lack talent, right? I know I'm not the only one. You have seen some basketball players that had the talent, but the problem is that they did not know how to take ownership of the talent, right? We know a lot of gifted people. Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, Joyce. We know a lot of gifted people, but the problem is not your gift. The problem is you don't know how to take ownership over your gift. You don't know how to take ownership over your talent. You don't know how to take ownership over your ministry. And because you never take ownership of it. And what I'm saying, even as it pertains to ministry, is not ownership in the sense of it belongs to you. I'm saying ownership in a sense of what you do after you decide that this is something that I'm called to do. Right? This is the lane I'm supposed to be in. And so the problem is never, listen, I'm telling you, there are so many of you on the line today that are so gifted. You are so talented. Like you really have it. Like a lot of you are looking at other people and you're trying to figure out how do these people got the platforms? How do these people got the audiences? Because you know that you really have what people need. The problem isn't that you don't have what people need. The problem is that you never take ownership over your life, right? Even as it pertains to your home life, your children, your relationship, we never take ownership over those things. And the difference between, listen to me, being an owner of something and just being a consumer of something, right, is the fact that when I take ownership of it, I feel the Lord, I participate in the process. Right? Consumers are always looking for what you can get out of what you're in. This is why I say that when you become a part of the well, that you are a partner of the well. I'm getting ready to help y'all today. Real simple. You become a partner of the well. Why do I say that? Not just a member, because membership is always looking for what can I get out of this moment? What can I get out of you? Right? What can I get out of this church? You're looking for, when you come in, you're already thinking about what you can get out and not what you can contribute. So a partner means that I take ownership. I'm going to help you in what I'm building. And oftentimes when you get in these relationships with people, this is why marriages are failing. You know why? Because you won't take ownership. You want to be a consumer. You want to get, what can I get out of this relationship? What can you do for me? How can I be happy? How much money do you make? How can I sit around? How can I do da da da? I'm not really happy in this process, but can I ask you, what are you participating? What are you adding to the process? What are you doing to make this relationship better? You got to take ownership. You got this business, right? But you still have the mindset of a consumer. Always thinking about what you can get from other people. How can you help me? No, how can you help yourself? So the problem is that it's not the fact that you don't have a good man. It's not the fact that you don't have a good woman. It's not the fact that you don't have good children. It's the fact that you have refused to take ownership over your life. And this is why I deal with mindset first. Why? Because oftentimes, good morning, Derek, oftentimes our mindset, come on, is shaped based off of our experiences. And because of the experiences that you have had, those experiences begin to infiltrate into every area of your life. So based off of your last relationship, because they didn't treat you right, because they weren't good stewards over you, because they took advantage of you, when you get in another relationship, now you have a consumer mindset and you don't have an ownership mindset. So you're like, oh, because I gave so much in the last relationship, I'm just trying to see what I can get out of this relationship. Right? I was in a business before, and this is how I operate the business, and this is how people did me. And so now you're trying to operate your business from a place of trauma, not ownership. Ownership says this: I know they messed up. I know I made mistakes, but I'm not there anymore. I'm in a new season. I'm in a new place, and I'm going to embrace where I am. Come on, and build for where I am right now. And oftentimes, y'all, we struggle with building from where we are because we're so focused on the past. So when I'm talking to my business owners, the first thing I'm going to deal with is your mind. That's the number one thing I'm going to deal with is your mindset. Because if I can shift your mindset for you to take ownership over your life, this is like when I talk about finances, right? The conversation is this: you have to tell your money where it goes. We don't have a lack of money because the money's not coming in. Oftentimes, if you look at what you got coming in, a lot of y'all got the money. Now, some of y'all like, okay, you know what? I'm struggling just a little bit, right? But the reality is that you have not taken ownership over your finances. So your money tells it where to go versus you telling your money where it goes. You just spending money, spending money, spending money. Even in business. You got to be very strategic about where you spend your money. You got to be very, very careful about where you place your time. Why? Because time is currency, right? So, what will separate you in this season is not talent, it's not gifting, it's not access, it's not even opportunity, it's ownership. Somebody drop in the chat ownership. It's ownership. Even when it pertains to access, let me tell you why. Some of you have had access to great people, but because your mindset is still the mindset of a consumer and not ownership, listen, can I tell y'all, some of y'all blew some of that access. Some of y'all had access to people that had the ability to shift you into doors. But here's the thing, you didn't know how to think like an owner. You were still trying to think like a consumer. You were still trying to think like other people. So what's going to separate you in this season is ownership. Everybody wants the next level, but not everybody wants to take ownership over the level that you're currently on. Ownership is the game changer, right? Because the moment you stop blaming, you stop delaying, you stop avoiding and waiting for someone else to fix it, right? You step into power. This works in every area of your life. Let me tell you, even how, even down to your health, right? You have to take ownership over your health. You got to stop blaming commercials, right? You got to stop blaming other people. Stop blaming when you go. Well, when I went into the grocery store, I seen what was that. I seen, what they had on the shelves, and they had a sale on that. So because they had a sale, I decided to get it. But so you're blaming the store as to why you made a decision to buy them Debbie cakes instead of telling yourself, I don't need that. So this work, I'm telling you, it works in every area of your life, not just one. Ownership is what makes you honest. Hear me. You cannot fix what you keep excusing. This is why I said the first thing I'm dealing with when it comes to my business owners are those excuses. I'm not far because of this. Oh, I don't have enough people. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough resources, right? Those are all the things we tell ourselves as to why we're not starting. I don't have enough followers. I don't have X, Y, and Z, right? But when you begin to take ownership, hear me, my language changes. My language now becomes, how do I maximize what I do have? I don't have a lot of money, but what can I leverage, right? What can I bargain? What does somebody else have that I have that now we can be like, you know what, let's barter services. I'm not good at admin, but I can do this for you. I'm not good at this. I'm good at sales and you're good at this. That's ownership. Ownership doesn't look for excuses. Ownership is constantly looking for ways to execute, not to excuse yourself out of it. All right. You cannot grow from what you keep blaming everybody else on. You will not go far if you keep blaming your mama and you keep blaming your daddy and you keep blaming your grandmother and you keep blaming previous employers. You keep blaming your ex-husband, your ex-wife. You keep blaming, come on, your spouse now. You keep blaming your children. You will not go far if you keep blaming all of these people as to why you're not where you're supposed to be. Ownership says, hey, you did me wrong, but I don't have to stay here, right? Ownership says I made mistakes, but I don't have to become a mistake. Listen, ownership says that my past is the past and I got somewhere I got to be. That's ownership. Some of you need to own your mistakes. Come on. Some of you need to own that I didn't steward moments well. Some of you need to own I didn't steward people well. Some of you need to own I'm not even stewarding my spouse well. Come on, I'm going to hit it in all different angles. Some of you need to own I'm not stewarding my children well. It's me. And see, once I own it and I forgive myself, ownership says, all right, now how do we make it better? How do we keep going? How do we keep moving? Sometimes the breakthrough starts when we say, this is mine to manage. This is my life. I know this is not the type of talk that a lot of y'all business owners like because you know what, business owners, I see you. You like to make money. I know. You're looking for the revenue. You're looking for the money, right? You're trying to see like, I really want to see, how I can make money. But let me tell you something. If you do not first take the mindset of ownership, you will never make money. That's it. So this is mine to manage. That's what ownership says. This is my life. and how I need to steward my life well. This ain't about nobody else. The reason why I have to have this conversation when I'm counseling people, when I'm talking to people, I'm never going to talk about nobody else. You know what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to talk about you. You know why? Because the only person that we can change is you. I can't change that other person. And so oftentimes you get in space. This is why you got to be careful about who you hang around, because your circle will have you concentrating on everybody else, that you are mismanaging. This is a word right here, that you will mismanage your life. You so focused on what they did and what they not doing and how they not showing up. I used to post this thing and I said, I'm so busy loving people that love me that I don't have time to be concerned about people who don't love me. You are focusing so much on who don't like, who don't share, who don't follow, who don't buy from you, who don't support you, that you forget that there are people that are in your corner. And here's the thing, if you never support me, and if I didn't have nobody in my corner, I still have a responsibility to manage my life well. You can't wait for people to get on board, Martin, before you decide what you're going to do. You can't wait for people to get on board for you to decide that you're going to say yes. You can't wait for people to get on board before me. Hear me in this. You cannot wait for people to get on board before you even heal. You don't need permission to heal. You don't need closure to heal. I feel the Lord. You do not need closure to heal. You do not need someone to apologize to you to heal. You have the permission to heal and to move forward and to take ownership over my life. And if you never come back and say sorry, I'm still going to be alive. And if you never come back and say sorry, I'm still going to be successful. And if you never come back and say sorry, I'm still going to operate in the lane that I'm called to be in. If you never get on board, I'm still going to be me. If you never share, I'm still going to be successful. That's ownership language. Ownership says if five show up, I've given you guys my testimony so many times that I've owned the lane that I'm in. I'm not for everybody, and I know that. My ministry is not for everybody. Blessings, prophetess. My coaching is not for everybody. I've realized that, right? I know that I'm not for everybody, and because I know I'm not for everybody, I have learned how to manage the lane that I'm in. I know that I'm called to execute. I may not coach every area, but when it comes down to execution, baby, you cannot hold a candle to me, because it's what I do, it's who I am. And so whether two of you show up or whether five show up or whether 10 show up, guess what? I'm still going to teach like it's hundreds in the room. You know why? Because that one person needs me. And when we can get to that, listen, that's ownership language. Immature language is if it's not a room full of people, I'm not talking. I'm going to help y'all today. Cause some of y'all are stuck because you're not an owner. Some of y'all are still stuck because you refuse to step out of this place of just wanting to be a consumer, of wanting to. Some of you have even become information hoarders. I said it. Information hoarders. You go to conference at the conference at the conference at the conference. You go to session after session, but you never do nothing with what you get. Some of y'all go to church and church and church and church, and you never put into practice what the word says. Never put into practice. You never do the things. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to thy own understanding. That's real simple. Trust him, lean not. Trust him, lean not. Some of us refuse to trust him and we still leaning into other people. We still trust in people more than we trust God. But ownership language, right? Ownership language says this is mine for me to manage. When you stand before the Father, he is not going to ask you, prophetess, about nobody else. He's going to want to know, what did you do? He's going to want to know, how did you respond? He's going to want to know, what work did you do here on the earth? And I know this is a tight conversation, but I promise you, like when God gives me a burden for something, I really be like, let me release it. And this is the conversations that we don't have. We become such a culture, such a blaming culture, such a culture that's so caught up in everybody else and what everybody else got to say and what everybody else is doing, that we are missing it. We feel like, I listen, let me tell y'all something. I live my life unapologetically. I don't care. I'm gonna do what God told me to do. If you like it, you like it. If you love it, you love it. And guess what? If you don't, you don't. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to show up. You don't have to come. And guess what? And if I'm not for you, that's okay too. Like we have to be okay. You know, one of the things I have realized, even in dating and relationships, right? Because like I told you, this works in every area of your life, not just business and ministry. But what I've even noticed in the dating space is how many people get upset about people that don't want them, like in things that just don't work out. And I'm like, if the person don't want you, why do you want to be in a place that's not wanted? Right. And why are you upset? Because you're simply not their person. Like dating is exactly that. Like it is for us to decide and to see and to grab a hold of information to decide if this is for me or if it's not for me. So why do we get upset about things that are not for us? He said he will not judge us by what we do. Listen, but what we are called to do. This is definitely a prophetic word because it is definitely challenging me. Absolutely. But why do we get upset about we tried something that didn't work? Right? Like why do we get upset about navigating into spaces that, let me be honest, if it's not for me, it's just simply not for me, and that's okay. Like, listen, there are people that have come and they've done consultations with me, and I realized that maybe I'm just not the coach for you. Can I tell y'all, even in hairstyling, I have realized that there are some clients that we as stylists we fire. We're just not a good fit. All money is not good money, right? All money is not good money. Just because there's a door don't mean you got to walk in it. Mhm. There's a whole lot of doors in my house, right? But all of those doors, this is so good. But all of these doors lead to something else. And oftentimes we think just because it's a door, we got to walk through it. But what you have to realize is what comes after that door. This is ownership language. I'm only talking to my owners on the line. Those of you that don't want to own your life, every area of your life, let me tell y'all something. This conversation is not for you. But for those of you that are tired of being stuck in the same place, this conversation is for you. There are doors in my house, right? But every door leads somewhere else. And so I got this door that I'm looking at right now, but this door leads to the backyard. But that backyard ain't nothing back there. It ain't nowhere to go beyond my backyard. I got another side door, right, that goes to the side of my house that leads me into somebody else's house. I don't use that door because what am I gonna? I don't need access to that. I feel God on this. But then I got the front door, and my front door gives me access outside that's going to take me multiple places. Hear me this morning. This is such a prophetic word. That's going to take me multiple places. I can either go down the street to another development or I can make another turn. And when I make that turn, there are two other places that I can go outside of that exit. What am I saying to you this morning? That ownership means I decide. Come on. I decide what door I go through. Come on. Ownership says that I decide what I give access to and what has access to me. Because the thing about a door is that oftentimes when you open the door, oftentimes when you open the door, you have access to something else. But can I tell you that something else has access to you? But ownership says just because I see a door don't mean that it's a door I need to walk through. But this is a prophetic word for somebody. You got to be very careful about doors. You have to ask God, hear me, anybody that is in the midst of contracts, anybody that's in the midst of negotiations, anybody that's in the midst of connecting with people, hear me in the spirit today. All right. Those of you that are just now following me, listen, I am definitely the coach of coaches. I'm definitely a prophetic coach. So listen, if it ain't for you, I get it. But I want you to hear what I'm saying because evidently you need to hear this. Even those that are going to watch the replay later. For those of you that are signing contracts, that are right in the middle of negotiations, this is what I really hear for you. To be very discerning about what comes behind that door. Right? Be very discerning about what comes behind that door because oftentimes we see a door and we see access, but we don't realize that there is something behind that door. And I don't know where it leads to. So, what did I tell y'all earlier? I got multiple doors in my house, one that leads to a backyard, one that leads to my owner to my neighbor's house. I got one that leads out the front door. They all go different places. Sometimes they lead to dead ends. This is why you got to be able to discern. You got to take ownership. Don't, those of you that are in negotiations, hear me in the spirit. Don't allow people to make decisions for you. I don't know why I'm here, but this is where I'm at. Do your due diligence, do your research. Do not sign anything without consulting someone that knows exactly what you're getting ready to sign. If you don't know about buildings, if you don't know about court issues, legal issues, some things you don't need to do by yourself. I don't care if you got to post it and say, hey, listen, I need somebody to know something about X, Y, and Z, but I don't know who I'm talking to this morning and why I've shifted here. But I want you to know that you have to be very careful about what you give access to and what you are getting ready to walk into. So those of you that are in the middle of contracts, negotiations, all of those things, just be very careful in this next season, okay? Because you have to discern what's behind the door. That's the word. Y'all drop that in the chat. Discern what's behind the door. Discern what's behind the door. All right, let me go ahead. Ownership creates movement. All right, for those of you that feel stagnant, saying, hey, listen, I'm not moving. A lot of people are stuck because they're waiting for permission, waiting for the perfect timing, or waiting for someone to rescue them. Some of us, we are in that place where we're waiting for people to rescue us, waiting for people to give us money that have owed us, or we feel like we're owed something before we make a move. That's it. Discern what's behind the door. But ownership says, I may not have everything, but I can start with what I have. All right. I may not have everything, but I can start. This is why mentors and coaches are so important. Discern what's behind the door. Absolutely. I tell y'all, I don't coach because you don't have it, right? I'm a coach because I can see what you cannot see. Simply. That's such a good point, Brittany. I can see what you cannot. I'll continue to say this. Those of you that are just joining, welcome. You cannot play the game and watch the tape. You cannot play the game and see what you're doing. You got to have someone that can see what you cannot see. I tell people, I'm not a pastor because I'm here to hoard people, right? I don't need to lord your life. I want you to be able to make decisions. But what I am here to do is to see what you cannot see and to help you to make better decisions. And so what happens is sometimes we lean too much into our pastors that we want them to make all the decisions for us. And what happens is people now have resented their pastors because they allowed them to make decisions for them that honestly, there are some decisions that you have to make by yourself. My job is to be a spiritual covering and spiritual guidance and to help to coach you through your spiritual journey. But I cannot lord you. Ultimately, what God is calling you to do is what God has called you to do. But I also can see what you cannot see. You have to have someone that can see your blind spots. That's ownership. That's ownership. When people come to me about ideas, I'm not here to take ownership over what you're doing. I'm here to help cultivate what you're trying to build. I already got something that I'm building that I'm working on. But it's not my job. That's not what I'm here for. And I know there's a lot of people that will argue this point, and I don't, I'm not here to argue with no leader. You however you choose to run your assembly, it's however you choose to run your assembly. But here's the other part is that everything is just not a church thing. It's not. Everything that you're called to build is not for the church. And I'm not going to say not for the church. It's not for your local assembly. There are some things that God is calling you to build outside of the walls. And the reason why it's not working, the reason I did a live a couple weeks ago, and I told you guys this. I said, some of you have, okay, and I'm going to repeat this. Some of you have the right bait, but you're in the wrong place. And some of you, you are in the wrong, and you have the wrong bait, but you're in the right place. Right. So what am I trying to say? This is ownership language. All right. This is ownership language. I'm gonna help you. Is this when somebody is fishing, right? When you are fishing for your people, when you're fishing for your tribe, let me tell you this. Those of you that are even looking for mates, right? Some of you got the goods, but you in the wrong place. You in the wrong place. You still trying to find your man in the club, baby. The man you looking for is not in the club. He's going to be at that networking event. right? He's going to be at these business gatherings because this is the caliber. I feel God on this. This is the caliber of the man that you want to meet, but you keep going to the wrong place. Girl, you got the goods. But they say you got everything, but you at the wrong address. And that's where many of you are. Like you have everything, but you're in the wrong address. You're in the wrong place. And then some of y'all, you in the right place, but you're using the wrong language. Some of y'all at the networking events, but y'all saying the wrong thing to capture that man. That man don't want to hear that. That man don't want to hear that you are, I just need my man to be da da da, and I just need him to make this kind of money, and I need him to do X, Y, and Z, and I need him to do this. The caliber of the man, I don't know why I'm here, y'all, but I'm here. The caliber of the man that you are looking for, that is not the language that he wants to hear. So you in the right place, baby, but you got the wrong language. But let me bring this back around. Ownership is all about being in the right place with the right language. And oftentimes we got all the goods, y'all, but we're just simply in the wrong places. You are simply showing up in places that don't need what you have. And you're like, why aren't people buying from me? They don't need you. When I'm coaching my people, I said the best thing that you can ever do, and this is a free nugget, the best thing you can ever do is to connect with someone that has the audience of your people. So that's what I'm telling you. People that do like business finances, you want to connect with me. Why do you want to connect with me? Because I got all the business people. I make your job easier. But you out here trying to connect with people that don't have your client, that don't have your people. So ownership says I need to be in the right place with the right bait. I need to be in the right place with the right language. Because the right place with the right language is what's going to shift everything. Okay? That was just a little sidebar. I don't know how I got out here, y'all. Hey Kiana. I don't know how I got out here, but we out here now. And I love it. I love it for us. You know why? Because this conversation is healing somebody right now. This conversation is freeing somebody. Somebody that said, you know what? I needed permission to take ownership over my life because I have allowed other people to take ownership over my life. And I'm going to be honest, y'all. And I am a pastor. And if I ever got into this place, I pray there was someone that came and pulled me and said, hey, sis, you out of order. Because many times with pastors and leaders, I'm going to tell y'all, you are holding people back. And I'm going to tell y'all, never mind. I don't even want to go there because I don't want to get in too much trouble because, I'm already a woman pastor. So, they already got something to say about something to say already. But I'm going to tell y'all, it's just some stuff that just don't be well in my soul. And we don't realize how much pastors and leaders, y'all be holding people back because you really want to witness to stay in the house. God never called us to stay in the walls. Never. He never called. We literally come together to fellowship and to draw strength from one another, and we go out. We speak about the Great Commission, and we say, go out to the hedges and the highways, and we compel them to come in. I'm not compelling you to come in to sin. I'm compelling you to come in so that you can go draw strength, so that you can be empowered to then do what? Go back out. That has been my problem. When I stepped away from church for about 5 years, listen, I learned so much about God. And what I learned the most about God is the simple fact that oftentimes we as the church try to hold people in the walls. Listen, I'm guilty of not saying things because I don't want to overstep leadership. And I get it. Like, it is the hardest thing. But I'm telling you, one thing I've learned about God, because I've always, all my life, since I was a little kid, have dealt with leaders. Like, I'm not just now, the leader of leaders, right? I remember being 16 and 17 years old, and there were pastors that were consulting with me about their church, telling me what was going on. And through the wisdom and the leading of the Lord would literally deposit into me and let me know what to tell them. I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of pastors today that were pastors. My parents were pastors, so growing up in that space, right? So I'm not new to this, right? But I learned that the Father would give me the language that I'm not overstepping, right? That I wasn't trying to be the leader of all leaders, right? God will give you the language, like He will literally show you on what to say. In that, Brittany. But everything is just not. And I know we don't like this conversation, but I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna free some people today. That you have permission to do something outside of church. You have permission to build what God is calling you to build. And in the church, people may not be like, here, let me ask you this, right? Okay, so you're in the church and you're building something for, maybe like God has called you to do something with the homeless. God has called you to build out a mentorship. Like, what if your people are not in the church? In that church? Like, it can be an extension, it can be something that helps the ministry. But what you're building, and I know people gonna disagree, and it's fine, you know. Um, and it's fine. I've become okay with that. But I got to free some people today because we are being held back. God gave us dreams and talents and things 5 years ago, but we're not taking ownership, and we're waiting for permission to be. We're waiting for permission to do. Like, I'm not saying be out of order. I'm saying you go, like, you don't. Here's the thing, I'm not coming to ask for permission. I'm coming so that you know exactly what I'm doing. And I need you to pray with me and to help me navigate through this space, right? And to give me spiritual guidance. But I don't need your permission to do what God is calling me to be, especially if I'm not taking up no space in these walls. Now, it's different if you like, hey, listen, I want to do something. I want to be able to meet. I want to da da da. Like, I get that. But if I'm not doing anything, like, my job is simply to come in and let you know, like, this is what God has called me to do. And this is what God is asking me to do in this season. That's it. The Great Commission called for us to go out. Simply. All right, let me keep going because I'm going to get in trouble. Ownership is what separates you. Talent is common, ideas are common, vision is common. But people who take responsibility, follow through, communicate, adjust, and execute are very rare. I'm telling y'all, the level of people that come through my coaching program, y'all, that there are a lot of people that come through, and I'm telling you, that been sitting on things for years. Good morning, Miss Juanita. Years. I mean, years. Whoo, Kiana. I understand. It's tough, but I'm gonna free you today because we cannot continue to. And this is why I say ownership. My point number 3 is ownership is what separates you, right? Because you have to take responsibility for what God has given you. Period. You got to follow through. You got to communicate. Execution for a lot of people is very rare. You can add, like, the amount of y'all, it's plenty a lot of y'all on this live right now. You got a book full of ideas that you've done nothing with. What you doing with it? But the first thing you got to ask yourself is why, right? Because why haven't I followed through on what I wrote down? What are the things? Because ownership says, when I know the why, I can build a process or a system around it so I do it. Or I connect with who I need to connect with so I fulfill it. I remember a girl, she was stuck. And she said, I went to chat and I asked chat, what do I need? She said, chat said I need an execution coach. She went on Instagram and she typed the execution coach, y'all, and that's how she found me. I think about if I was not intentional about saying, this is who I am. At first, I was like, oh, I'm a business coach. This is how I grab. I'm a business consultant. I'm a success coach. I'm this. I'm a visionist. And then finally, I was like, my lane is execution. Hear this. Once I own my lane, guess what? My people came to me. Y'all are on this live right now because y'all know I'm an executor. Y'all on this live right now because I'm always talking about moving forward, what you need to do, how do you push. When you own your lane, Kiana, the people will come. The people do not come if you're not willing to first own the lane and then be able to speak the language of your lane. I speak the language of my people. So you know what happens? I get inboxes. Hey, can you help me with this? I get people. Hey, listen, I know somebody that's struggling and da 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 da. Can you connect with them? Absolutely. I got pastors and leaders. Hey, listen, can you come to my church? And I need you to come teach a lesson. I need you to come work with my leaders. You know why? Because I own my lane. And when you own your lane and you own what you're called to do, guess what? It shows up. Let me tell y'all, some of y'all spouses won't find you because you're not an owner, you a consumer. Your spouses will not find you because you are still stuck in the mentality of people coming to you for certain things, but you don't speak the language of the person you desire. Yikes. All right, let me move on. All right. Ownership is when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what am I responsible for in this? All right. When you stop asking yourself, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what am I responsible for in this? All right. God can give you vision, strategy, and opportunity, but you still have to steward it. So, ownership is stewardship, simply. That's all it is. Ownership is stewardship. And that's our struggle. We are struggling with the ownership. But like I said, today's topic is the game changer is ownership. And if y'all today, if you can grasp the fact that you are the owner and operator of your life will never be the same. I took a hold of my life about 7 years ago. I said, I don't care what y'all think about me. I don't care if y'all talk about me. I don't care about none of those things. I'm going to do what God has called me to do. I'm going to be me, simply. And I never let go of that. I'm going to do what I want to do. Even as it pertains to pastoring, like people just like, I don't understand. Like, I'll never leave my church, so early. And I said, oh, okay, well, that's you. But I'm building leaders. And leaders will never be able to lead if they don't know how to lead, if I don't give them the opportunity to lead. So my job is not to stay stuck in a place where, because here's the thing, when you know that God is calling you to something different, ownership says this, I have to build the people around me. I was talking to somebody today and they were talking about like their children and they were like, man, like your children are so self-sufficient and like they were just, applauding me about like how my children are, which I love, right? But I built my children to kind of be in that place, so to speak. I've trained them, right? That they understand entrepreneurship, they understand how to navigate. We have family meetings, we have conversations. Like I took ownership over my family. That is something that we typically don't do, y'all. Some of y'all need to go back and take ownership over your home. Stop letting your homes just things just happen haphazardly. Be intentional about how you build. That's why I said, like, I cannot just talk about your business without first talking about you, because you are the business and everything that you build flows through you. And so if you are not well, if you don't understand ownership, if you don't understand what you're called to do, can I tell you that your house and your business and your ministry is going to be a mess? That's why I made the post the other day. I said, everything is not spiritual warfare. Some things are simply you're not disciplined. That's it. Things are all over the place. You don't have clarity because your house is all over the place. Your children don't have a bedtime. They do what they want to do. They say what they want to say. Your meals are not prepared. I've been there, so I could talk about it. And I was like, ooh, like my life is just crazy. You know what I had to do? I had to take ownership over my life. I had to stop making excuses as to why I wasn't eating right. Why are you door dashing every day? Because you're not disciplined enough to meal prep? That everything that you do comes before this? That everything is coming before your health? No, you need to take ownership over your life. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for a moment. Recognizing what's important and what's not important. Knowing how to say no to certain things. I was looking at my schedule this week. Like somebody wanted to talk to me last week and I knew I was going to a conference. And I was like, you know what? I'll talk to you next week when I come back. The other side of me, right? The other side of me wants to just make myself available all the time. Ownership says, no, I'm intentional about where I place my time. I'm intentional about who gets my time. There's some people that wanted some counseling sessions. I'm like, okay, listen, I got you, but I don't have you during this time and this time. Why? Because during this time is things I need to do. That's ownership. Ownership says, hey, listen, I want to be able to go on this vacation, but listen, I'm not financially in the place. It just doesn't make sense for me right now. That's taking ownership over your life. Don't let people guilt trip you into doing things that you know you can't afford to do. Don't let people guilt trip you into operating in spaces that you don't have the capacity for. Ownership says, this is my lane. I'm operating my lane. This is what I have the capacity to do. This is what I don't. Listen, most owners, let me help you. And I'm getting ready to get off of here because my time is almost up. Most of you owners are getting in trouble because you are allowing people to allow you to operate in spaces that you don't have the capacity for. If you are not, listen, if you are not a people person, do not allow the church to guilt trip you into making you an usher. If you're not good at customer service, if you're not a discerner, come off of the door. You know yourself better than anybody else. Every single Sunday you drag on to church or you make up a lie not to come because you've been put in a place that honestly you know is not where you're supposed to be. That's not the best and highest use of your time. That's not your strength. And so what we try to do is we'll say, listen, I just want to strengthen you in this area. Sometimes we don't need to strengthen people in areas. We need to allow people to operate in their genius. This is what I teach in my coaching. How do you operate in the best and highest use of your time, the best, highest use of yourself? Like not allowing yourself to be put in places that do not allow you to operate in your genius. So don't allow people to push you into a place that's not where God is calling you to be. Everybody's ministry is not in the pulpit. Some of you are literally called to the people on your job. And that's okay. But what we do is we allow people to push us into places that we don't have the capacity for. I remember I was like maybe like 28 and they was like, we really want you to be an elder. And I was like, I'm not ready to be no elder. I know what that financially means. I know what that mentally means. I know what that emotionally means. And I'm gonna be honest, at the time, my house was a mess. Marriage going through it. Like I already knew that I didn't have the capacity to fulfill it. I got two small children, no family at home. Now, I'm okay because sometimes your leader is able to see what you cannot see. But even them seeing what you cannot see should never take you out of what God is calling you to do. Like I'm going through some leadership training with my people right now. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not training you because I'm training you to be a pulpit person. I'm training you because I need you to have an understanding of what these positions mean. So that any moment you can at least be able to explain or have the language. Or so that you can operate outside of these walls, whatever you're supposed to do. I'm not training leaders for the pulpit. I know y'all don't like this type of talk, but I'm going to talk it. I'm not training leaders for the pulpit. I'm not training everybody for the mic because that's not everybody's assignment. I'm training you because you got to know what you believe. You need to be able to articulate what you believe. You need to be a leader on your job. And being a leader in your job is more than having a microphone. Hey, sis. I'm not training people as leaders so that you can be in the pulpit. That's not what this training is for. But you need to know what you believe in. You need to know that when you're on your job, how to articulate what doesn't the first month of our leadership had nothing to do with the Bible per se. It had everything to do with integrity. It had everything to do with personal consecration. It had everything to do with them. Because before I ever give you a mic, before you ever give a title, this is why business coaching is important. Before you ever get a mic, a platform, you got to deal with you. Let me tell you why. Because if you do not deal with you, when you get a microphone, it's amplified. When you get a position, when you get a title, it's amplified. Have you ever seen somebody on your job that you could tell they was not processed for that position? They got it because they knew somebody, and when they got in that position, guess what? All of their flaws, they're nasty, they rude, they not disciplined. What was it? Amplified. because they wasn't processed for the position. They was just put there. And that's why we got a lot of business owners, we got a lot of leaders, we got a lot of people that when they get a microphone, their mess becomes amplified. Why? Because they was not processed for the position. They were placed there. Somebody just gave them a title. And this is why I'm telling business owners, right? Hear me, that sometimes you want to go through these things that kind of accelerate the process of business ownership. But let me tell you something. Everything that I've learned, I have been a business owner for the last 11, 12 years, right? And everything that I have learned in leadership has built me into the person that I am. And even the tools that I got to kind of accelerate the process, what I did was I took those skills and I paced myself. When I went to this conference last week, y'all, it was absolutely amazing. I'm getting ready to help somebody. It was one of the best conferences. The way they wrapped the hotel, the caliber of their communications. And I sat there and I was inspired. And I thought to myself, I said, how do I build this on the scale that I'm on right now? Woo! Listen, when y'all come to I pray, plan, execute, don't come and be intimidated. Don't come and think like, oh, I should be doing this, but and feel a certain type of way. I want you to come and be inspired. And I want you to take a hold of this and say, what can I do for where I am right now? That's what ownership says. I said, listen, I don't have the money to wrap the hotel at my next event, but I do have the money to be able to put up more posters and more boards and more communications that when people come into the area, they recognize that I'm at I pray, plan, execute. What I'm trying to teach you is ownership. And ownership says that I don't shop outside of my means. That I don't need to, like, my first I pray, plan, execute. Like, I wanted to do like all the fancy decor and all the balloons, all that, but my budget didn't align with what I wanted. It didn't mean that I wasn't going to give people my best. It just meant I need to do this on the level that I have the capacity for. Simply it. That's all. And when we can learn that you can still make something amazing, you can still do something beautiful, you can still operate in your calling, you can still, do the things that you're called to do, and it can still be great and amazing. It may not look like everybody else's yet. I said, I can't wrap a hotel yet, but it's on the way, right? I may not be able to do all the things I've seen them do. I don't have all of the $10,000 coaches that they had, right? I can't do a pitch contest yet. Listen, they gave away $72,000 in gifts and money. I was like, yo, I want to do this. And I'm not there in that capacity yet. But my mind started going and said, well, what can I do? What type of scholarships can I give away at my next conferences? What can I budget for? What can I allot for? How do I shift my budget to make this work? That's what ownership says. And that's all I'm saying is I want us to take ownership over our life. That's the game changer. The game changer is not asking for permission from nobody to do what you're called to do. Ownership is eliminating excuses. I'm the type of leader, I told them inside our leadership meeting, some of them are still getting to know me in a close knit space. And I said, um, I don't like a lot of problems. Okay. We need solutions. We need solutions. Don't come to me and just have a long list of everything that's going wrong without sharing. This is how we can make it better, though. Sometimes we can come with a lot of excuses, but we don't come with a lot of solutions. But that's what ownership says. I can share my notes. I can. If you do me a favor, text that number. It's a textable number. If you text that number, oh, disregard. I was saying, if you do want the notes, if you guys want, y'all can always text that number. That's the textable number at any moment. And you can say, hey, listen, can you drop me the notes? Da, 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 whatever. I'm gonna reshare out the link for everybody too. Okay, I got you. Okay, she said I'm gonna rewatch and take my notes. I'll send you the notes too, Brittany. I got you. I can send them to you. But ownership says I'm not waiting for permission, y'all. I'm going. And that's all I came to say. I do this because I am such a solution oriented person. And I look at my time, I look on my timeline so much and I see people with just a bunch of excuses about why they're not pursuing, why they're not going after, why am I stuck? You know what I'm saying? And so I know my job. I've learned my lane and my assignment, and I'm going to keep pushing y'all. I'm going to keep challenging you to think further beyond than where you are right now. I'm going to keep challenging every negative thought. I'm going to keep challenging every ounce of trauma that's still inside of you because I want you to be healed from in every area of your life. I'm gonna keep challenging every thought, every procrastination, every fear of failure, every fear of success. I'm gonna keep challenging it until you show up. Some of y'all I know personally, some of y'all I don't, and if I don't, it's okay. Because if you don't, I will. Anybody that I meet and come in contact with now, I went to a class not too long ago, and I met these people, and they were telling me what they want to do. I said, "Listen, I'm going to be your accountability, and every time I see you, I'm gonna be on you. I'm gonna ask you where you at, have you moved forward, what's your progress? I'm gonna drop. I was on my sis dropped something the other day. I said, sister, I want to see this in a live, and I'm gonna keep pushing her until I see it. Cause you know what? We need people in our lives that's gonna push us. The one thing I think my old coach used to say, pushing us past our place of resistance is what my coach used to always say, and that's what I'm here to do. I gotta push you past your place of resistance. I gotta push you past this place of being stuck, Joyce. Some of y'all been in this place way too long. I met y'all 2 years ago, and you in the same place you was in 2 years ago. The devil is a liar. All right. So I love y'all so much. This was so good to me. I don't know if it was good to you. If it was good to you, listen, just share this with somebody. Share this live. I'm gonna keep the live up. It'll be on my page. It's also on YouTube. But share this live with someone that you know needs it. This is such an important conversation to me, but I feel like everybody needs to hear it. The game changer is ownership. And I want you guys to leave here today, not just inspired, right? But I want you guys to move from this place with some action, like steps, like write down today. How do I take ownership over my life? This is why I call you my mentor. Period. That's what my mentees on the line. I'm gonna push you, girl. Um, and I do offer mentorship. So for those of you that have been asking, I've been working on some things on the back end, y'all. I've been building. Listen, this is noticing my level of capacity, right? Um, I've been working with the ministry, and so that's have taken a lot of my time, just trying to make sure the ministry, because that's the priority right now. But I've been working. Some of y'all I mentor like individually, but I've been working on like a little group mentor or something that we meet a little bit more often, and we'll meet together versus just meeting, my separate sessions where I gotta listen. Y'all know I'm the queen of voice notes, so I will send you a voice note real quick. I'm gonna send you a quick audio. You might send me something. I'm gonna send you something right back. But I'm grateful for those of you that trust me to mentor you. Um, but I don't want you guys just to leave here, like get off of this live and be like, okay, I heard what she said about ownership. No, I want you guys to leave here in today, some point, to sit down, and I want you to write out what areas you need to take ownership over your life, right? And then I want you to write down one thing that you're going to do for the next 30 days. That's your challenge. Everybody's been challenged. All right. I'm going to email out this challenge too. The challenge is write down 3 ways you need to take ownership over your life, and then one thing you're going to do for the next 30 days. Okay. And I want to see, like, I want y'all to come back. We're going to come back in 30 days, and I want to know where you are. Now, if you're in the same place, we need to see what adjustments we need to make. All right. Now, if you're not in the same place, all right, now we need to build off of that momentum. And what are we going to do for the next 30 days? Those of you that are struggling, I know I say this every live that I do, and I'm getting ready to get off here. I got 1 minute. Every live that I do, I always tell you that y'all have access to me. Like, I'm not that far. I'm not at the place where I do have some assistance, but I don't have 1,000 assistants that you have to get through before you get to me. I may not be able to answer you like right in the moment, but I will send you a voice note. If you are struggling and you need help, y'all reach out. Don't just keep struggling. I'll do the best that I can to help you as much as I can as possible without it, stripping me of my capacity. But if you are struggling, I will help you. All right. So, like I said, right now, while y'all got the access to me, that number is a textable number. So feel free to text if you need help, if you need assistance. My assistant, she will get you on my schedule. I'll respond to you with the voice note, like, hey, listen, this is what you need to do, X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm here to help. Okay. So that's all I have to say. I pray I said something to bless y'all. And that's all I got. The game changer is ownership. All right, y'all have an amazing day. Bye.